From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, August 26th. Some lingering showers are possible today, this morning, before we heat things up. A few more showers, even some storms could pop up before sunset. Highs will reach the low to mid-90s, with it feeling like triple digits in some locations. The U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan tells Americans waiting at the gates of the Kabul airport to leave immediately. Fears of a terror attack are fueling the warning. CNN reports the U.S. believes the group ISIS-K wants to create mayhem at the airport. Other countries are making similar moves to get people away from the danger. Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom have issued their own calls. Some other countries have halted evacuation efforts or plan to soon, saying it's not safe. This morning, we're seeing a video of planes packed with people as the U.S. military is trying to get as many people out as possible before that August 31st deadline. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says more than 82,000 people have been evacuated so far. That includes more than 4,500 Americans. Blinken says the U.S. government is still trying to contact others.
We're aggressively reaching out to them multiple times a day through multiple channels of communication, phone, email, text messaging, to determine whether they still want to leave and to get the most up-to-date information and instructions to them for how to do so.
Blinken says as many as 1,500 Americans are still in the country. A 2-year-old here in Indianapolis was caught in gun violence and is in critical condition this morning. The boy is the 9th of the staggering number of children shot in Indianapolis in the last month. Medics rushed the boy to Riley Hospital just after 6 last night. IMPD says shots rang out on Cecil Avenue near 38th and Franklin. At last check, the 2-year-old was critical but awake and breathing. Right now, police are not saying anything about the circumstances of the shooting. And fire destroys part of a smelting plant on the west side of Indianapolis. Engineered Refractory Shapes and Services is on Expo Lane, just west of Ben Davis High School. The Wayne Township Fire Department says no one was inside the building when the fire started yesterday evening. The department says one firefighter had a minor injury, was treated there at the scene. So far, no word on what started it. And a mechanical issue led to a scary scene in Fishers. A plane was forced to make an emergency landing on 96th Street near Covington Boulevard. It happened around 6:30 last night. The Fishers Fire Department tells us nobody was hurt. The pilot was the only one inside the two-seater. A new report claims Americans will likely be able to get booster shots sooner than expected. The Wall Street Journal reports the federal regulators are poised to approve a 6-month timeline for the additional shots instead of the 8-month schedule initially announced. The Biden administration has said it wants to start booster shots sometime next month. The White House is not yet commenting on the new report about the 6-month timeline. And right now, people are struggling to even get tested for COVID-19 as cases rise in Indiana. Local health officials say you should not go to the hospital for a test, even if you can't find one from another site. News 8's Jimmy Johnson learns what's being done to try to keep up with the demand.
I keep calling again to see if they can find a place where I don't need a referral or insurance card for my daughter. It was for my 9-year-old. And they keep saying no.
As COVID-19 cases surge across the state, it's a race against the clock to get a test. But Romel Cervantes says she feels like we're going back in time.
If they make this decision about opening and having the kids going to the school, they should be ready to test them. Because right here on Topeka New School Corporation, they have over 500 kids in quarantine.
Cervantes couldn't find any immediate appointments in the greater Lafayette area where she lives. And when she called the state for help, she says she was directed to sites where she needed a referral. Her problem isn't unique to her community. Both Marion and Hamilton counties are scrambling to keep up with the demand.
So we're having a little, some complexities about our testing. And so we're trying to work with our vendors to increase the amount of testing runs that they can do.
We are going to have to figure out something. We are working at hiring more people, providing more hours, possibly putting on more sites as well.
Dr. Virginia Kane from the Marion County Public Health Department says results are also taking longer.
Currently right now, it is taking 3 to 5 work days.
And in Hamilton County, it's the same story. But Emergency Preparedness Coordinator Christian Walker says there's an added layer because they're also limiting the use of rapid tests.
The tests are in short supply, so we really need to save them for those that we think may truly have COVID so we can get them out of circulation as fast as possible.
Both Kane and Walker say a lot of what happens next with testing will ultimately be up to the state. Cervantes hopes for solutions soon.
For being the Delta variant, which is level 6 spread, they should do better. Yeah.
I'm Demi Johnson for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
New numbers from state leaders show COVID-19 and hospitalizations are growing in Indiana. The Department of Health's most recent positive case count is 5,037. Those cases were reported between last Thursday and Tuesday. It's the highest number of cases since mid-January. And this morning, the state reports 2,048 people are in hospitals across Indiana with COVID. Rising numbers are changing the state's county advisory map as well. So 16 counties are in the red, which represents the highest level of community spread. The majority of the state is in orange, and 9 counties are in yellow. None of the counties is in blue, which is the lowest level of community spread. And a doctor in Florida says the COVID crisis is now impacting the cancer patients he's trying to treat, forcing him to turn a patient away. Dr. Nitesh Paryani is an oncologist in Tampa. He says the Delta variant is overloading the hospital where he works and that there are no available beds.
When I established my cancer practice, and I'm a third-generation oncologist, the one principle that I had built, my family had built treating cancer patients off of, was that we would never turn away a patient, regardless of whether they could pay or not. And for the first time in 60 years of my family's history of treating cancer, we had to turn someone away. We just didn't have a bed.
Paryani says that the patients in his hospital who are on ventilators or on life support were not vaccinated against the virus. And the northern Indiana man charged in the death of an 11-month-old wants his trial moved. Attorneys for Justin Miller called the courthouse improper because the crime did not happen in Marshall County. Miller's facing a charge of neglect resulting in death. He pleaded not guilty Tuesday. A missing report earlier this month sparked a statewide search for Mercedes Lane. Police say Miller led them to her body in Stark County. A coroner ruled her death a homicide. And Lane's parents are also facing neglect charges. A hearing is set for September 9th. Indiana Congresswoman Jackie Walorski is speaking out about the case, calling on the Department of Child Services for information on the child's death. She said in a statement, "Every life is precious, and the needless suffering or death of any child is a tragedy. I will continue working with partners at all levels of our child welfare system to ensure we're fulfilling our mission to protect Hoosier kids from harm." The House Select Committee looking into the January 6th riot on Capitol Hill is requesting records from federal and law enforcement agencies. The request is looking for information about what led up to the riot. Representatives want details on communication from within the White House and some records from the Departments of Justice, Homeland Security, and the FBI. Former President Trump claims the requests violate executive privilege. A new blaze is burning in California. The South Fire sparked up in San Bernardino County. The fire destroyed at least 2 structures and burned 500 acres, prompting evacuations. People rushed to save farm animals from the flames. The San Bernardino County Fire Department initially believed the fire was sparked by an excavator striking a rock that ignited sparks, which then spread to dry brush nearby. Education outside the classroom. Some kids in Fishers are the first to get new hands-on learning opportunities, which start in September. Second graders will have some opportunities at Agri Park to get their hands dirty, picking produce and learning out in the field. Then fifth graders will be across town using tools and STEM to solve everyday problems. It's all a partnership with the city, embracing a new way of learning. Hannah Mordeau reports.
Wake up, it's time for school. But imagine picking out produce instead of pencils.
They'll be able to just observe, they'll get to walk the field, see it up close.
That's Brooke Daniels' hope for all second grade students at Hamilton Southeastern schools.
And it just really transforms them as learners. They become deeper thinkers, they question, they wonder, they start to see things a little bit different around them in all aspects of their life.
She's the teacher in residence at the Agri Park, a 33-acre farm in Fishers open to the public and now students.
Second grade will have 3 opportunities to be out here. We'll do a program in the fall, in the winter, and the spring, all focused around different science standards, and we'll be able to pull in reading and math.
They will pick produce in the fall and plant in the spring.
That's mudsock back there, chowing down.
Meeting, observing animals is a must, and learning the history of farming in Indiana.
So many things and opportunities for kids to learn if we just give them the right environment.
Across town, building the right learning environment for 5th graders is easy at Hub and Spoke.
This is the Maker Playground.
Jennifer Suskovich is the teacher in residence here.
Students will be able to check these tools out and use them for the different projects.
Groups of 60 students will come out for 2 days of STEM-focused, non-traditional learning and problem-solving skills.
There is the woodwork shop, the metal shop, the CNC row, and of course we have some 3D printers over in this side. So people can come in, create, make things. So we want to take that experience and bring it down to 10 and 11-year-olds so that they can then get an idea of things that they can do as they get older.
The hope is to unlock creativity, reimagine what a classroom looks like, and make students society's next solution.
I really want real-world problem solving going on here.
That was Hannah Mordell reporting. Now, the city of Fishers is providing the space and equipment for the out-of-class experiences. And the best part is if you're not a current student within the Hamilton Southeastern School District, the farm and Hub and Spoke are also open for the public to use most weekdays. One of the most iconic images of the 1990s is now at the center of a lawsuit. The naked swimming baby from the album cover of Nirvana's Nevermind is now grown up and suing. Eldon Spencer's lawsuit claims the image is child pornography. He wants $150,000 from each of the band members and several other people. Spencer's own perspective on the picture has shifted over the years. He has recreated it clothed several times in the past to mark anniversaries of the album. And now, in addition to the money, he's asking for the original image to be altered in future releases. Gleaner's Food Bank reopens after water damage. Alarms were sounding during yesterday's storm, evacuating the community cupboard. Officials say they're still assessing any damage to food in the warehouse, but the food bank is open for normal drive-through pantry hours from 2 to 7. Volunteers are welcome, but other visitors are asked to not return until Monday to allow time for more cleanup. Readers, racers, and friends of all kinds are honoring the life of Robin Miller. Indianapolis Motor Speedway has his name and face on the pagoda and the scoring pylon. Miller's career spanned decades, covering all sports, but racing was his passion and his legacy. A statement on the track's Twitter reads, "Fans knew who the real Robin Miller was, and they knew he'd have something to say." IMS President Doug Bowles wrote, "Nobody cared more about telling the stories and creating fans of our sport than Robin Miller. Rest in peace." A post from the IndyCar series calls Miller a one-of-a-kind personality whose riding prowess and intense enthusiasm won over even the largest of critics. Robin Miller was 71 years old. He died this week after a struggle with cancer. The Colts head to Detroit today for the preseason finale against the Lions. The weather forced the Horseshoe to wrap up an eventful training camp yesterday inside. Carson Wentz showed he's not slowing down just weeks after foot surgery. Our sports team points out that the quarterback went 23 for 30 in his 7-on-7 drills. Head coach Frank Reich shares his takeaways from camp.
Just reminding of the commitment that we made to each other here. We've had some time here. We have a clear vision of where we want to go, who we want to be, and how we want to get there. We made a clear commitment to each other on how we were going to do that, and that we were going to do whatever it takes to get there.
Tomorrow's game against the Lions kicks off at 7. And the Indy 11 are back home this weekend at Carroll Stadium. The 11 host the Real Monarchs from Salt Lake City. You can watch every moment of the match live on Wish TV. Our coverage starts at 7. And finally, to business headlines. More Hoosiers are returning to work. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development says Indiana's private employment increased month over month by 17,100 jobs and has recovered 96,600 jobs over the year to bring the state's total private employment to 2.65 million jobs. Manufacturing saw the biggest increase in jobs in the state. American Airlines said July revenue came in ahead of forecasts, but is weaker than forecasts in August. It blames the rise of the Delta variant. Frontier, Southwest, and Spirit previously warned new COVID cases are driving down bookings. Meanwhile, Delta Airlines will impose a $200 monthly charge on unvaccinated employees and add testing requirements. Delta's approach, it says, will instead focus on the financial burden of COVID-19 and aims to transfer it to those resisting vaccination. Face masks are required again in major U.S. auto factories, and according to Ford CEO Jim Farley, that has some workers deciding not to show up for work. He told CNN that in some factories, absentee rates can exceed 20%. General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, the company that makes Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler vehicles, agreed with the United Auto Workers Union in early August to begin requiring masks in their factories again. TikTok users will soon be able to buy stuff directly through the short videos on the app, something they'd only been able to do through ads until now. ByteDance, the Chinese company that owns TikTok, already runs a thriving social media marketplace in China. Buying products through social media websites isn't yet as common in the United States. Reality star and entrepreneur Kylie Jenner is among the first merchants to participate in the program by selling her skincare and cosmetics line through TikTok. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.